Okay, hopefully that angle works good. This one's gonna be a bit more trickier because I don't have a lot of space, I guess. And this is my figure collection 3, I think, part 3, I think. And this one is TWD collection. And because of the sensitivity of Facebook, I can't really say what that is because, yeah. But you guys will see eventually. I got these pretty much protected, so I do have to go ahead and remove some plastic, bubble wrap, and whatnot here. And I'm going to turn this around so I can grab it a bit more easier. So, these are in order, but how I'll be pulling them out won't be in order. If that makes any sense at all, I do not know. So, I'm going to go ahead and start with the 2 big ones here. And these are from Series 10, right? So we have the double pack, which wasn't very many of them out there, and I'm glad I got my hands on one when I did. The double pack of Negan and Glenn. And I did get a lot of these figures back, rebuying them and everything, which is great. Because I worked hard on a lot of these to get. But here's this one right here, and there were some that I was going to try to get into. Like, you have like these half figures, half statues. I had Abraham. I'm not sure what ever happened to him. But I just couldn't get into the statue ones, unfortunately. There are 2 figures that I have in this collection, but they are upstairs on the wall, and it is of Abraham Ford, the comic and TV version. And if anybody knows what the character looks like, then that gives you an idea of what my dad looks like, because when he first appeared on the show Abraham Ford, you know, the character's name for the show, he's like, oh, that looks like your dad, you know. So I have that hanging up upstairs with this military stuff because it looks just alike, which I will eventually show for that figure. So there's that. This one right here is also going into your Series 10, which is Daryl with his bike after the prison, and with the jacket and everything. And I added a few things of my own. There was a loose figure I bought of Shane from the comics. It came with like a shotgun and handgun, and I added the handgun to the front of the bike in there, like on the TV show. There were supposed to be another set of figures that were supposed to come out, and it was supposed to be based off the spin-offs. So there was supposed to be Dead City Negan figure from season 1 going into season 2. My understanding is that figure specifically for that one did not come out for the US like it did for Cross Seas, but very little. That's because the spin-off show didn't really quite catch on in the US. Then there was supposed to be the spin-off one for Daryl figure, and that never got released. That ended up getting shelved. Even though the spin-off series did very good for that one, it just ended up getting shelved. And I know the Rick and Michonne one for The Ones Who Live, again, they'd done the figure scans, the sculpts and everything, but you know, for those figures as well, ended up getting shelved, and unfortunately will just never see the light of day, which sucks. It does, because I would have loved to added that to my collection. If they ever do come out, I would most certainly would get them. And there are a few figures, yeah, I don't have, like, you're not going to get every one, but I have just about every single one. So to move forward as we continue for Series 10, Sasha right there. And I don't understand why they made her packaging blurry, and they did that with all of them. I don't understand what the choice was going into that. I do not know. I do know this, where my collection does sit. If I were to ever sell this entirely, 10,000, and I'm not even joking. If those other ones were to ever come out, it would be up to 15,000. Here we have Aaron right there. So he comes with a lot, which is really cool. And we have another one for Series 10, which is standalone Negan right there. Which I'm glad they did that, because that is like so cool. Really awesome figure. And we have the last one for Series 10, which is Rick. And I call this one Security Rick, Alexandria Security Rick, because in the Season 5, I want to say, you know, that's the uniform he had when he was doing security for Alexandria. Right there. Let me see here. So here we, I guess, going into this one, and I gotta move a few things, which would be Series 9. And Series 9 is kind of a little bit scattered in here, but not bad. So we have Michonne, and she's also in her Alexandria security look right there, which is really cool. And there's been a lot of, I got just about every variant of her that came out. And some of these are like really old and falling apart with the packaging. So also going into Series 9, we have T-Dog right there. Took a long time for him to get a figure. I think what McFarlane did, you know, nothing against the guy, but he's like, well, I want to stop doing the figures because I want something that's going to stay on shelves. No, you want something that's going to fly off the shelves, not stay on. We go into Series 9, we have Gravedigger Dirty Daryl right there. So there's that one. I think going in, yeah, this is actually the last one. Series 9, we have Beth right there. So there's that one for Series 9. And Series 8, we have Bob right there. We have the blue variant version of Tyrese when he got bit. I forgot what season that was. And for Series 8, we have Dale right there. And going in also to Series 8, we have Rick Grimes. And of course, there's a nickname for this one, which I can't say on Facebook, because they'll flag it. But it's such a cool figure, though. And I have some loose ones too, actually. Going into Series 8, we have Carol right there. Also going into Series 8, we have Eugene right there. So we got Eugene. And let me see if I can grab this out of here. Also for Series 8, we got Morgan. And I'm looking at the back. I don't remember ever getting this from GameStop at all, because I just don't remember. Interesting. If I did, I did. I just don't remember. There's a sticker on the back of it though. And for the next series, we have what series was this one? Series 7. And we have the re-release going into Series 7 of first appearance Rick, Sheriff Rick, actually, right in there. Going also into Series 7, we have another variant here of Michelle right there on the tracks. Right there. And a different variant of Series 7 for Rick. This is from the prison from Season 3. One of my favorite looks for him, actually. Another one for Series 7, Herschel Green, right there. And the last one for Series 7, I do believe so, yeah, for Series 7. And there's a couple of them I just don't have in here, like Gareth or Carl. But here we got Gravedigger Daryl right there. So there's that one. Let's see, Series 7. Let's see here. For Series 6, right? Yeah, so Series 6. Where's the other one at? No, not Series 6. Yeah, Series 6. I figure out how I'm going to grab these ones. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. So Series 6, standalone Daryl from, I want to say, Season 3 through Season 4 without the bike. And I have the one with the bike. I guess right there is going to have to work. I don't have any other place right now. And going also into Series 6 right here. When Series 6 came out, it was a lot of people's favorite, and it still is. And it's still one of my favorites besides Series 8. Because they look so good. But here we have Herschel with the crutches, and it comes with 2 different legs right there and stuff. Also going into Series 6, we have the Governor right there. Really awesome. Also going into Series 6, we have Rick. And this is Season 4 Rick. Right there. And then the last one for that series would be Carol. Prison Carol. That was Series 6. Right there. And going on for Series 5. Okay, now Series 5, I'm going to start with the bigger one here. Which we have from the first Daryl figure that came out with the updated joints at the time. And again, I added a shotgun right in there from a loose figure for parts. This box is really old, falling apart. Really falling apart too. And I had to order that one offline. I remember GameStop had it up for pre-order, but the problem with my local GameStop, when they have something up for pre-order, they just never get it in. And then people, they really don't. they get nothing in, like they say, for pre-order, and then people get their money back. I don't know what's wrong with my GameStop with that. Now, they had something called the flashback figures, but not really flashbacks, but they go into, again, Series 5. So they re-released Daryl at the time, right after the box one, just in case anybody couldn't get their hands on one. They had this one, which I've got, which was still cool. I'm glad. Right? And they made a lot of Daryls, they made a lot of Ricks. Right? Then they had this Michonne one, which she came from an earlier season of the figures. The only difference was the head tank thing, which is still really awesome. Because then we got again going into Series 5, we have Glenn right here. Then go ahead and take some of this package stuff out. We have Maggie, which is the only Maggie figure throughout the whole series in the sets of everyone, or everyone, yeah, everyone that came out. Right. And we got, I guess you could say, first appearance of Tyrese right there. And then for the last one of Series 5 would be Zombie Merle right there. So there's all of them. And now we got Series 4 coming up here. So I gotta grab the little ones first, because there is one big one for Series 4, but it's at the bottom. So we got Rick for Season 2 in the Series 4 release, right there. We have Andrea. I couldn't think of her name for a minute. Going in from Season 2 to Season 3 appearance. And she was only in, what, 3 seasons? We have the only Carl Grimes figure right there. I did not get the other one, I just did not want it, which I'm fine with, whatever. We got first appearance of Governor right there for Series 4. Then we have our first appearance of Daryl from Season 1, and then his brother, which came back in Season 3, and this one right there, which is really cool. Now they had a standalone one for that back when it first came out. With the earlier ones, like your Series 2 and Series 1 figures, super expensive. And going into Series 3, which is honestly only 2, we have this Merle, right? And the beige and everything, which was his first back appearance in Season 3 of the show. And then Michonne, first appearance for Season 3, here for Series 3. Now, those are the TV ones, and I have the comic figures. I have the comics figures. Do I have some Walking Dead comics? Yes, and I have the full compendiums of every one of them. And let me see, I'm gonna grab this now. Again, these are not gonna be in any specific order now that I'm looking at it, so. Okay, so this is Series 3, a comic, Rick Grimes, comic version of them, right there. I have no idea. I just put them right there, I suppose. For Series 3, Andrea, right there. Now they had another variant they came out with later on, which looked cool, but wasn't very many of them made. and she had her had like the cowboy hat and the poncho, which I would have loved to have gotten. Now that I think about it, and some of them were like Comic-Con exclusives, which not very many really go up for sale though. Going into Series 3, Dwight from the comics. Unfortunately, we never did get a Dwight for the live action figure from the AMC's version, which I wish we would have. That would have been cool. That would have been actually great. Now for Series 5, and I know it's like, what do you mean Series 5? I know a lot of this is, like I said, it's jumbled. Just gotta give me a minute. So we have comic version of Glenn, which took them so long. Took them long enough to actually do that. And we have the only good figure of Shane, which was from the comics, from Series 5, and his sheriff uniform. The one from the TV show one was just a statue. Nobody liked it. Everybody wanted McFarlane to update that one, and he just wouldn't do it. Now we have for Series 4, and for Series 4, we have comic version of Carl Grimes, right? Carl Grimes. And there were a lot of comic exclusive figures for the comic of this series that were really expensive, and very little were even really made. So I may not have all of them. Like, for example, King Ezekiel, really expensive to get. But for Series 4, we got the pincushion zombie, which was really cool, so I had to get him. I did. I had to get that one. And then for the only one that I got for Series 2 of the comic figure is the comic version of the Governor. Now to get on to some exclusives, and I have the first two that came out for Series 1 for the comics, and we are going to get to those, but I got to get to the ones here on top of that. So for some of the comic exclusives from Comic-Con, I have Old Man Rick from the comics, right there. Figure out where to put him at. And then we got this one of a comic version of Negan, his first appearance. Right there, Comic-Con exclusive. We have this other comic exclusive of Michonne, and they had quite a few of them, but I got my hands on this one right there. Really cool. Well, this is from the games, from the Telltale games. You can tell this package is getting old. It's starting to turn yellow. And it's Lee Everett from Season 1. And I love the bloody variant version, so I had to get him. And another comic exclusive one from Season 2 of the game, Clementine, right there. So I had to get her. Now, for the Series 1 of the comic figures, I spent a pretty penny on these, and I'm glad I got them, because they're so beautiful looking. They really are. First appearance of Rick Grimes from the comics, right there. The sheriff, everything. Really, really awesome packaging. And then we have Michonne. Well, she was starting to fall apart, so I had to fix that the best I could. Really awesome appearance for it. So now to get on for the last few. Not too many people care for this set, and it's like supposed to be like a version of G.I. Joe for it. I only got one of them, which is Rick, and I do want the Michonne one eventually. They do get pricing. They have quite a few sets for Shiva, for the Shiva Force, right there, and of course they got the Lucille Force, which is all Negan's people. But I just only want one, honestly. Another one, which is going to be Michonne. It looks cool. I think it's a cool figure, though. I do. I love the artwork in the back of that. Really nice. In my opinion, I think that's really, really nice artwork. And then once I found a thing called Gimme 5. Wasn't in the best condition at all. Really bent. But I ended up getting it. It's like these little, kind of like checker pieces, so to speak. But it's like of the show of the characters. So that one's of Michonne. And then bobblehead, Daryl. I did have some of the first sets of the Funkos that were released, but again, I'm not a Funko person, so I like threw those out. I just hate statues. I do. I'm not a fan of them. Not a fan of Funko either. Not at all. The only, like I said, I only got like 3 actual Funkos. And I'm gonna shift the camera up, right? I don't know if y'all can see that in the back, Michael Jackson one. And I have Ed and Eddie upstairs. Okay, so for the last one, World War Z Zombie. That's like the only figure for this whole thing. Is that? But yeah, that's for my figure collection for part 4, or no, 3. There will be a part 4, which will be for tomorrow. And now I got the pleasure of putting all this, as you can imagine, back in my bin here. That being said, you guys, hey, I'm out. Peace.